Veronica presents the AI Repertory Theatre's production of New World Papers. Book 1, The Historian's Tale, by K.B. Shaw. Chapter 11. Decisions.
An unfamiliar female voice broke the silence as we gazed across the cavern at the spectacular Sol Rise.
Welcome to the power plant.
And then we saw the impossible. An attractive woman, no more than 40 centimeters tall, standing on the console. She was dressed in a trim khaki uniform and wore her blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail. We stood there, dumbfounded.
Welcome to...
What? Asked Randall, finally breaking the silence.
The power plant, the electrical generator facility.
No one spoke.
Let me introduce myself. I'm the engineering avatar, Chief Annika Byström of Terraforma, a fully licensed colonization services corporation. It has been 284 Earth years, 7 months, 29 days, and 13 hours since this panel was last activated. That means we've been gone for a very long time, and you are most likely descendants of the colonists who followed us here to C-39D. Congratulations for finding your way to this facility.
What's an Earth year?
Asked Randall.
It is equivalent to 3/4 of your solar cycle.
An annum.
Said Joe.
A cycle is 18 months. An annum is 12 months. 3/4 of a cycle.
So when counting our age in annums, we're counting in Earth years?
Said Addie.
Correct. 3,416 months have elapsed, or 189.7 solar cycles, local time.
How did we come to be here?
The New World Foundation on planet Earth contracted Terraforma to prepare this landmass for colonization and to support the habitation process for 5 Earth years. Because the physical and social engineering plans called for a colony with limited technology, we had to conceal the advanced technology and machinery we used to prepare this continent, designated New World, for habitation. The natural system of caves beneath this landmass offered a base of operations that would be unobserved by the colonists when they arrived and during our 5-year service contract. Captain Matsinski and our corporate liaison, Vincent Greer, used the house we constructed above ground as their headquarters while they interacted with the Colonial Council. The Terraforma Corporation makes no judgments on anything other than physical sustainability. However, Captain Matsinski ran simulations of possible social development scenarios and expressed concern for the welfare of later generations. He and Mr. Greer devised a plan to leave behind what you have found so you could evaluate your situation and have the option to reintroduce technology into your society. We can't be sure what you have discovered so far, so I am not authorized to tell you more than how these generators work and which systems they power. Do you understand?
We were stunned. Again, we just stood there dumbly, staring at the image of the miniature woman.
By your expressions, I suspect that holographic avatars are not part of your experience. Am I correct?
It was Lenore who spoke.
No, they are not.
Lenore's face instantly appeared on the screen to the right of the number buttons.
And what is your name, miss?
Lenore Bedford.
Lanor Bedford displayed below the image of Lenore.
Lenore Bedford.
Said Chief Bystrom.
Lenore. Lenore. Ah.
Said the avatar with a trace of a smile.
An echo murmured back the word. Lenore. Merely this, and nothing more.
The display corrected to Lenore Bedford.
Please introduce yourselves one by one.
Aiden Brennan. A-I-D-A.
Brennan? I had assumed her last name was Greer, like the missus. To me, she was simply Addie. But how thoughtless of me not to ask her parental name. Then again, she never offered the information either. Maybe in deference to my being raised as a one-name ward of the state? It was amazing how quickly we took to talking with this imitation person. Chief Bystrom promptly reasoned that Bedford was Lenore's father and that the missus was a descendant of the corporate liaison, Vincent Greer. She learned to identify us both visually and audibly.
Will one of you be my primary interface?
We don't understand the question.
Will one of you be the person I will work with most often?
That would be me.
Said Randall.
and my engineering team.
I look forward to meeting them. How should I address you? Brian? Mr. Randall?
Just call me Randall. No. With a playful smile, he said.
Call me Brian.
And you can call me Annika.
Addie and I looked at each other with raised eyebrows. Was Randall flirting with this image? Bedford pulled out his watch.
It's nearly 6. Say 2 hours to return to the quarters, gather a crew, and
I don't want to waste time going back. Leave Toby or Sean with me in case I need help.
I'll stay, offered Sean. I'll begin by exploring that other floor the elevator opens onto.
good. Toby will discreetly gather your team and bring them back.
Randall thought a moment and then said,
Folks will know something's up if my whole crew goes missing.
Are you living in the base?
asked Annika.
Yes, the estate has been destroyed and more than 60 of us are trapped in the quarters, the base.
I will learn your terminology from Brian and adjust. Are you the only ones in your group who know of this place?
That is correct.
It is your decision whether or not to activate more systems. But if you do, you won't be able to keep this a secret.
She's right, you know.
Said Addie. We have a lot of decisions to make, and they shouldn't be made rashly or all at once. But we can't hide this discovery. It will affect our everyday lives. Bedford put a hand on my shoulder and said,
Right you are, lad. We shouldn't keep this secret.
He then turned to the others and said,
Agreed?
The decision was unanimous. 6:01 a.m. appeared on the screen at Annika's feet.
Please set your watches to the time displayed.
She said,
I need only Brian to remain here for now. The rest of you can return to the village. What do you call the village square?
The Commons courtyard.
answered Joe.
Gather your people in the Commons courtyard at noon.
I'm sure that everyone's mind was filled with the same questions that overwhelmed mine, but the trip back through the tunnels was spent in silent reflection. When we reached the mouth of the tunnel, it was 8:15. We flicked off our static lamps and peered through the darkness toward the gas-lit commons.
I'm weary.
Said the missus.
Let's bypass the commons and return to our quarters to rest. We'll meet in the square at 11:30. Gather everyone with you as you come.
When Addie and I reached our pod, I inspected the walls of our cottage. I found a glass plate inside the door of each room, right next to the static box cranks. Addie kissed me.
I've always known they were there, but I never gave them a thought.
They didn't seem to do anything.
She yawned and led me to the bedroom, where we collapsed on the bed. I twisted to set the alarm clock, and when I rolled back to face her, Addie was asleep. I followed. It seemed like I hadn't even had time to dream when the alarm went off. I was hugging Addie, who was facing away from me. I pulled up her hair and kissed her on the back of the neck. Even though she tasted of salty sweat, it made me feel good. Addie didn't stir, so I retrieved the clanging clock, then reached over her and set it on her side of the bed.
Bloody beef, Fallon.
She griped as she fumbled with the alarm. Come on, Addie. Let's get out of these stinking clothes, I said. I sat on the edge of the bed and cranked my static lamp. Race you to the shower! She got out of bed and crossed to the bathroom, leaving a trail of dirty clothes as she went.
No racing.
She cranked the bathroom's static lamp, then turned the shower on.
Going to join me?
It wasn't a passionate coupling shower like our first night together. This may seem strange, but I think it was more intimate than coupling. I just enjoyed the ritual of it, the touching and the soapy kisses. Clean hair and fresh clothes rejuvenated us. We were out of our pod by 11:15. Toby and Joe or Lenore would get the people in their areas to the commons. Addie and I made the rounds of the more remote shop areas to round up anyone who might be working. We pulled 7 people from 3 different shops, and they all pressed us for information.
What's going on?
Why's everyone required?
Something bad happened?
We disguised the truth with a truth.
We're not sure what's going to happen.
All we know for certain is that we're all to be in the courtyard at noon. It's interesting how groups form within groups. I had seen it at the Mount, factions within the faculty, and cliques among the students. As we entered the square, we encountered the entire observation base engineering team chattering amongst themselves.
Have you seen Randall?
He should be here.
Did anyone check his pod?
It's not like him to be late for a meeting.
I'll run back.
No, Don't go, it's almost 1:45.
He's helping Bedford and Grandma with the meeting.
We extended our arms and shepherded them back into the square. One corner of the square was dominated by a large, flat rock with 2 steps carved into one side. Mrs. Greer and Bedford stepped up onto the rock, and everyone grew quiet. Someone tapped me on the shoulder. I turned and saw that it was Joe.
Come with me.
She took Aiden's hand, and Aiden took mine as Joe led us through the crowd to the rock. Mrs. Greer began to speak.
As you are well aware, we are joined together by the belief that our descendants came to New World from another world. For most of you, this belief comes from a few pages of writing known as the Solarist Papers. Others have access to more information.
She gestured for me to mount the platform.
You all now know about the descent team, and they have told you the truth about the basin, about the abundant plant and animal life, the true natives of New World. But we have additional details of the descent, and I want to share that information with you today. You all know Fallon, I'm sure, and you know he was the descender. He has also been appointed the first historian of New World. Listen to his telling of the descent.
Bedford was looking at his watch. As I passed by, he whispered,
You have 10 minutes, lad. Tell it like you did the other night.
The only sound in the quarters was my voice as I began my tale. I heard gasps when I told of the toothy monster and the suckered tentacle, sounds of concern when the sphere wouldn't rise, sighs of relief when I discovered my mistake, and laughter when the chamber pot bench lid slammed on my head. Then I saw stunned faces when I read the letters I had recorded on my drawing, i.e., New World. Bedford came forward and announced,
And just last night, we made another major discovery.
As if on cue, the cavern was filled with a buzzing sound and a flicker of light. The buzzing faded into nothingness, and the commons became lit with a crisp white light as bright as a summer high noon. The crowd looked around in amazement. One woman held out her arms and began to twirl. The people around her began to laugh and clap. The woman raised her head and started to cry out in joy, but the cry caught in her throat. She stopped twirling and pointed upward.
Look!
The gaslights and static lamps had never penetrated the dark heights of the cavern. Now, the source of the light was revealed high overhead, a massive dome that looked like a blue summer sky with white clouds drifting by. It emitted light like the ceiling in the archive vault and the panels in the generator room, but it displayed a lifelike, moving sky, complete with a single yellow-white soul directly overhead. It wasn't either of our souls. Bedford clapped his hands and called out,
If I can have your attention, please.
He was not heard over the excited murmurings of the crowd. He tried again, with no effect. Toby took notice, put his fingers to his mouth, and gave a shrill, penetrating whistle that got everyone's attention. Bedford nodded his appreciation.
Thank you, lad.
He said before addressing the assemblage.
I'm as amazed as all of you.
He raised his arms skyward.
This is beyond belief. There is so much we don't know about our own world. But we do know that the people who built the quarters were not the people who settled New World. They were the builders, workers from another world who prepared the land topside for colonization. They were people just like us. They did not stay on New World, but they left us a trail of clues to their existence, the first of which was discovered by Mrs. Greer as a young girl. They left us a precious archive of writings and artifacts. Fallon and his team will examine them first, and then disseminate the information. The builders also left us a new source of power they called electricity. It's the power that makes this light. We just discovered the source of this power last night. Engineering Chief Annika Beestrom is teaching us.
Who? Came a voice from the crowd.
Annika Beestrom. She's one of the builders.
A builder?
Still alive?
The crowd went wild with speculation.
Quiet, quiet, everyone calm down.
He nodded to Toby, who obliged with another whistle.
Is there a living builder?
Asked a woman after the crowd quieted down.
No?
Answered Mrs. Greer. A man started to protest.
But Bedford said,
I'm at a loss for words. She's a...
Suddenly, Annika's image appeared overhead, replacing the midday sky. The collective gasp was palpable.
Welcome, people of New World. I am a projection of Annika Bistrom, an image. The physical incarnation of me is not here. I have her knowledge and her memories, but I am not alive as you perceive life. You might say I am a ghost, a con, in the machine. I am here to serve you.
The Commons was silent as Annika's image faded into blue skies and white clouds. Bedford scanned the crowd.
Sean, where are you, lad?
Sean called out from the middle of the crowd.
Here, sir.
Good. Make your way up front here, and I want Randall's engineering team to join you. Get yourselves organized and supplied with food, tools, whatever is required.
Randall's voice came out of nowhere.
I can give you a complete list of what we need.
The sky dissolved into an image of Randall in the control room.
Annika has taught me the basics of the system. She calls this video. It's two-way, so I can also see and hear you. The power of this is staggering. We have so much to learn. Sean, I'll talk to you and my crew at the engineering bay.
Now, Bedford, if you can have everyone spread out over the commons, the pods, and the workstations, we can begin to test the extent of this system, see if anything's broken. Be patient, though. This will be slow going until my crew arrives.
Thank you, Randall. Sean will have your people to you in a couple of hours.
Randall's image dissolved and the sky reappeared. Bedford addressed the crowd again.
Work it out among yourselves. Just make sure that we have a body in every area we use, and stay at your stations until Randall or his crew releases you. Percy, can you shut down these gas lights?
I'm on it, James.
Thanks. Now off with you all. We'll meet back here after supper at 9.
End of chapter 11.
Next up,
No more secrets.